So you're a dog owner here in Victor, and you know that having a well-behaved dog just makes everything better. Well, this is your practical guide to finding a really great trainer who can help you and your pup get on the same page.
Just picture it for a second. A nice, calm walk through Boughton Park where your arm isn't being pulled out of its socket. Or having people over to your house without a flurry of jumping and barking. That's really the dream, isn't it? Having a dog that just fits right into your life.
Okay, so here's how we're going to tackle this. We've got a simple 4-step plan. First, we'll figure out exactly what you need. Then, we'll talk about how to spot a true professional. After that, we'll look at the different kinds of training you can get, and finally, how to make that big decision.
All right, let's start with the most important part of this whole equation, you and your dog. Seriously, getting clear on what you want to accomplish is the absolute best place to start.
Before you even start searching, just take a minute and really think. What are the specific things you'd like to work on? Is it one big thing or a few smaller ones? Being honest about this right now is going to save you a ton of time down the road. And if you're looking at this list and nodding your head, believe me, you are not alone. These are some of the most common challenges out there. Whether you've got a brand new puppy that needs the basics, a dog that thinks walks are a sled pulling competition, or one that's a little too fearful, these are things trainers see all the time.
And of course, your dog's age plays a huge role. I mean, how you train a tiny puppy is going to be totally different from how you work with an older dog who's had years to practice some, let's say, not so great habits. And a good trainer will build a plan that's just right for your dog's stage in life. So you know what you want to work on. Great. Now for the big question. How do you find someone who can actually help you get there? This part is all about figuring out who's a skilled, kind, and effective professional. Here's a term you'll want to look for: positive reinforcement. This is the modern, science-backed way to train. It's not about punishing bad behavior, it's about rewarding the good stuff you want to see more of. It works, it's fun for your dog, and it builds an amazing bond of trust between you two.
So how do you know if a trainer is up to date on these methods? Well, a great way is to look for certifications. Just think of them as a trainer's diploma. It shows they've actually studied animal behavior, they've passed exams, and they're committed to keeping their skills sharp. Now, you're going to see a lot of letters after trainers' names, but here are a few of the big ones. A CPDK-A or a KPA-CTP are fantastic signs for general training and manners. If you're dealing with something a bit more complex, like serious fear or anxiety, a credential like CBCCKA tells you that trainer has some really specialized knowledge.
Okay, so you know your goals and you know how to find a qualified person. Now let's figure out what kind of training format is going to be the best fit for you and your dog. You've got a few options here.
The two you'll see most often are private in-home training and group classes. It's pretty straightforward. If the problem is happening in your home, like barking when the doorbell rings, then in-home training makes a ton of sense. But if your dog just loses their mind with excitement or distraction around other dogs, then group classes are the perfect place to practice that focus.
All right, let's talk about the cost, because that's always a factor. This should give you a pretty realistic idea of what to expect for training right here in the Victor area. You can see the typical ranges for everything from group puppy classes all the way up to a full package of private lessons.
And there are a few other styles of training out there too. Day training is kind of like daycare, but with focused training sessions. A board and train is a more immersive option, where your dog stays with the trainer. And then behavior consults are usually for digging into one really specific, tough issue.
Okay, we're in the home stretch. You've done your research, you've probably narrowed it down to a few names. Now it's time to actually talk to a trainer and make your final call.
When you have that first conversation, it really helps to have a few questions ready to go. You definitely want to ask about their methods, double-check their credentials, ask how they'll make the plan specific to your dog's needs, and, of course, get a clear idea of the full cost.
You know, what it all comes down to is finding a trainer who just gets it. They understand what it's like to live here, they know the challenges of walking on a busy trail, and the distractions you might face heading to a place like Eastview. That local knowledge is priceless.
Picking the trainer is a huge step, but remember, that's just the beginning. The real magic, the real change, happens when you take everything you learn and you practice it, day in and day out, in the real world.
And hey, the good news is, we have some awesome spots right here to do that homework. You can work on those leash skills on the Lehigh Valley Trail, test out your recall at the Victor Dog Park, or practice staying calm around all the action at Fisher's Park. Think of our local parks as your outdoor classroom.
And really, this whole effort isn't just about getting your dog to sit or stay. It's about building a confident, happy companion that you can truly enjoy life with, whether you're relaxing at home, visiting friends, or just out and about enjoying everything our town has to offer. I wish you the best of luck on your training journey.